Further swelling the ranks of the mid-sized family car market is the Fiat Tipo hatchback, which replaces the Bravo after a 2-year hiatus. The Italian brand's got a habit of dusting off previously used nameplates from its back catalog. Witness the recent Fiat 124 Spider as another example, but the one and only previous generation of Tipo disappeared from price lists back in 1995. Most sold in the UK will be 5-door hatchbacks, but there's also a Tipo station wagon estate, while a 4-door Tipo saloon is also under consideration for British sales. A Tipo trekking with pseudo-SUV looks is highly unlikely. So what's the new Tipo up against? What isn't it up against would be an easier question to answer. Essentially everything in this sector, from the stalwart Ford Focus, Vauxhall Astra and Volkswagen Golf trio, to highly competent rivals in the forms of the Hyundai i30, Kia Ceed and Skoda Octavia. Roomy and comfortable hatchback. Disappointingly, the Fiat Tipo lacks much in the way of Italian brio, although this isn't a reflection of the fact it's manufactured in Turkey. It's a relatively safe design that doesn't make much attempt to stand out from the crowd, and despite a smattering of interesting detailing, the headlights, grille and body side creasing, for instance, it nevertheless blends in with the plethora of generic Euro hatches on sale. There's plenty of space once aboard the Tipo, including a welcome 440-liter boot, which makes it one of the roomiest in the class. Unlike its original namesake, the rear seat is designed in such a way that the central passenger position is inferior to the outer two, being narrower and firmer. Fiat claims to have maximized the benefits of the spacious interior by making the Tipo especially comfortable to drive. While it isn't bad, it doesn't set new class standards in this regard. Neither, sadly, does it feel satisfyingly wieldy to pilot along winding broads. Economical petrol and diesel engines. 5 engines will comprise the Fiat Tipo's British lineup, with a pair of diesels in the trio of petrols. Modest best describes their performance attributes, the whole range producing between 94 bhp and 118 bhp. The highest top speed mustered by any of them is 124 miles per hour, while the 1.4-liter jet petrol's the quickest 4062 miles per hour sprints at 9.6 seconds. In truth, that jet motor and 1.6-liter multi-jet 2 diesel, both with 118 bhp, offer the best combinations of adequate performance and decent fuel economy. It's also the larger 1.6-liter diesel, as opposed to the smaller 1.3-liter edition, with the lowest CO2 emissions at 98 gkm. Manual transmissions feature as standard, apart from the 1.6-liter Ettore petrol, which is exclusively available with a 6-speed automatic. There's a 6-speed twin-clutch automatic, DDCT in Fiat speak, available as an option on the larger of the diesels, too. Well-appointed and good value. 3 levels of Tipo trim hierarchy are available: Easy, Easy Plus and Lounge, plus a special Elite company car spec. All Tipos will come with aircon, Bluetooth connectivity and DAB radio, including entry-level models that start at under £13,000 at the time of its 2016 launch. Build quality feels fine for the price, although the early build examples we tested displayed a few squeaks and rattles, and some of the plastics do feel cheaper than those your fingers will experience in the likes of an Astra, let alone a Golf. Read on for the full The Fiat Tipo hatchback review to find out how good it is. 3 petrols, 2 diesels from launch. None will deliver hard racing speed. Larger diesel is the best all-rounder. It's unlikely there'll be a sporting derivative to take on the mantle of the old Sedisa Valvo model, meaning what performance the Fiat Tipo does offer is best described as adequate. 3 petrol engines and a pair of diesels provide the momentum. 2 diesels expected to be most popular. Fiat was one of the pioneering forces behind common rail diesel engines that are now commonplace, with its multi-jet 2 motors being the latest evolutions of the breed. Kicking things off is the 94 bhp 1.3-liter version, which produces 200 Nm from just 1,500 revolutions per minute. They don't sound like recipes for speed, and they're not. It'll top out at 112 miles per hour and takes 12 seconds to reach 62 miles per hour from a standstill. A 6-speed manual gearbox is the sole transmission. Efficiency benefits though, with overall claims of 76.3 miles per gallon and 99 gkm of CO2. Much happier hauling the Tipo's near 1.4-ton heft around is the 1.6-liter multi-jet 2, serving up 118 bhp and 320 Nm of torque from a slightly higher 1,750 revolutions per minute, propelling it onto a top speed of 124 miles per hour and 0.62 miles per hour in 9.8 seconds. That low-down torque makes this the pick of the Tipo's power plants, requiring less toing and froing of the standard 6-speed manual's lever as you make progress, whether at urban or open road speeds. It's pleasingly quiet when cruising. Claimed economy matches the smaller 1.3-liter unit, but CO2 emissions drop to 98 gkm. There's a twin-clutch automatic called DDCT, also with 6 speeds, but performance and efficiency figures have yet to be released. 3 petrol alternatives producing 94 bhp. The non-turbocharged 1.4-liter petrol is the cheapest power plant in the range as well as being the least sprightly. Just 127 Nm of torque's available from 4,500 revolutions per minute, meaning you'll have to rev the engine and work the 6-speed manual gearbox hard to extract anything close to resembling its 115 miles per hour top speed or its 12.1 second claim for 0.62 miles per hour officially. Fiat claims Tipos with this engine will average 49.6 miles per gallon and emit 132 gkm of CO2. In the middle of the lineup is the 1.6-liter torque, complete with a 6-speed automatic as the only transmission. It produces 108 bhp and 152 Nm of torque, again at a revvy 4,500 revolutions per minute, enough for a 0.62 miles per hour time of 11.5 seconds. Top speed is 119 miles per hour. This is the least efficient Tipo with an official average of 44.8 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 147 gkm. Topping the pit rolls is the 118 bhp 1.4-liter jet, the turbocharger, making the 215 Nm of torque much more accessible at 2,500 revolutions per minute. A 6-speed manual's again your only choice here, too. It's the quickest Tipo available with a top speed of 124 miles per hour and taking 9.6 seconds to reach 62 miles per hour from a standstill, so everything's relative. Press on and it does sound strained, not returning to a less frenzied engine note until you're back below 3,000 revolutions per minute. Officially it'll achieve 47.1 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions pegged at 139 gkm. Fiat claims to have majored on Tipo comfort, steering said to be weightier but remains light, disappointingly lacks much Italian character. There was a time when Italian cars were revered for their keen handling and the ease at which they made you grin from rear to rear. The latest Fiat Tipo is not of those times. In fact, there's very little evidence of the Tipo's heritage at all, such is the ordinariness of the experience behind the wheel. Fiat claims to have re-engineered the steering to give it more feel, feeding back to the driver vital statistics about road conditions and grip the front tires are experiencing. It doesn't deliver in the way of Focus, Leon or even the latest Astra do, and its weighting feels on the lighter side of average, too. Body rolls kept pleasingly in check but push the Fiat too hard going into a bend and it'll soon display understeer traits of washing wide, not keeping to the tight line you'd expected. To be fair, that's not what the Tipo's all about, with Fiat at pains to talk up its comfort levels, citing its variable rate dampers as the key to success. Theoretically, these dampers should offer the best of both worlds, being firm and smoother, faster surfaces but becoming more supple when dealing with pockmarked roads. They work to a degree, but prolonged sections of rough, rippled asphalt and cobbles leave the Tipo unsettled, the suspension constantly trying to settle itself, and its occupants, down as the vibrations gradually peter out. Cabin doesn't break any new ground. All controls are logically placed and easy to use. Some plastics feel on the cheap side. Chances are that if you remember the original Fiat Tipo from the late 1980s, its futuristic digital dashboard will stick in your mind. The latest car to wear the Tipo badge isn't anywhere near as bold. As with the Tipo's exterior, Its cabin looks fine, rather than notably stylish. There's little wow factor about either the way it looks or feels. Sure, everything works as you'd expect and laid out in a fashion akin to most others in the segment. The 7-inch Uconnect multimedia system works fine, although we suspect the smaller 5-incher might be a tad more tricky to use on the move. All the instrumentation is clear, if a little plain, although the speed readout and the central display screen has a whiff of 1980s video game about its 3D font. Overall, it just feels a little on the inexpensive side, which given its price, isn't a surprise. Just don't expect VW Golf levels of fit and finish to avoid disappointment. Fiat claims to have produced a very comfortable car. But it doesn't set new class standards. At least the cabin is spacious. Bold claims have been made about how brilliantly comfortable the Fiat Tipo is, but it doesn't manage to deliver to such a high degree. Certainly, it's far from uncomfortable, but drive the Tipo along sections of badly surfaced road, of which there are many in the UK, and while the initial rut is dealt with reasonably well, the Fiat takes a long time to regain its composure. The variable arate dampers seemingly still tackling the previous bump while the springs are dealing with the current one. Regardless, it makes a change from the jarring ride quality experienced in other hatchbacks that put you on first-name terms with your osteopath. The Tipo's cabin is capacious, with plenty of shoulder and legroom in the front and back. A 6-foot-tall rear passenger won't struggle to get their legs behind a driver of the same stature. Fiat claims to have made strides with headroom, too. The roof height is raised on the outside, the headlining in the front scalloped out to maximize the benefit, while the rear roof height is less tapered than many rivals. This should boost headroom in the back, but the improvement is marginal due to the higher set rear seat. Cabin quality is decent, especially for the low price, but you won't find vast acreage of the dashboard formed from squidgy plastics. The upper panel has a small degree of give in it, but it doesn't feel as upmarket as a Golf's cabin. All models feature aircon, Bluetooth and DAB. 3-level hierarchy is simple to follow. Easy Plus and Lounge specs. 3 levels of specification make up the Fiat Tipo hierarchy, called Easy, Easy Plus and Lounge. Standard Fiat Tipo hatchback equipment entry-level Easy Tipos are decently equipped considering the low starting price, counting aircon, remote central locking, electric door mirrors and front windows, DAB radio, Bluetooth connectivity and steering wheel mounted controls for the multimedia system among its kit count. Easy Plus Tipos are expected to form the bulk of sales, and buyers aren't going to want for much in terms of standard kit. There's a 5-inch Uconnect multimedia system, leather wrapping for the steering wheel and gear knob, electric rear windows, LED day running lights, rear privacy glass, parking sensors in the back bumper and cruise control. Range-topping lounge Tipos include a 7-inch Uconnect multimedia system with sat-nav and TomTom live updates, climate control, 17-inch alloy wheels, a reversing camera, automatic lights and wipers, and additional exterior chrome detailing. Optional Fiat Tipo hatchback accessories. Depending on the chosen trim level, a variety of additional features can be specified at extra cost. Those entry-level Tipos can be upgraded with front fog lights, rear privacy glass, electric rear windows, 16-inch alloy wheels, rear parking sensors, and the 5-inch Uconnect multimedia system with sat-nav. Upgrades available for the mid-level Tipo include sat-nav, a reversing camera, and a comfort pack including climate control, driver's lumbar adjustment, and a rear armrest. You can also specify 2 packages to make you safer. Safety Pack comes with a speed limiter, automatic emergency braking, and an adaptive feature for the cruise control. Safety Pack B does without the cruise control upgrade element. Those safety packs are also available on flagship trim Tipos, as is leather upholstery. Safety levels should rival others in the segment. No new ground covered by the Tipo's safety systems. Adaptive cruise control available as an option. No new ground's been broken in terms of safety with the Fiat Tipo, with technology already seen on the majority of rival cars in this segment. It's not yet been tested by the crash experts at Euro NCAP, but Fiat expects it to score 5 stars when it is. All Tipos come with 6 airbags and tire pressure monitoring system TPMS as standard, along with a raft of electronic stability software to reduce the chances of an accident in the first place. Depending on the model, you will also have automatic lights and wipers as well as cruise control. 2 optional safety packs are available, including an upgrade to adaptive cruise control and emergency automatic braking, where the car will bring itself to a halt if sensors determine the driver won't stop the car in time before a predicted impact. Large boot will appeal to families. Useful cubbies around the cabin. All models have a split folding rear seat to a larger degree than many other cars. Mid-sized family hatchbacks have to be all things to all people, hence why the practicality aspects of the Fiat Tipo are so strong. Most obvious is the 440-liter boot, which although large is outranked by the Peugeot 308 470 liters and the Skoda Octavia 590 liters. Fiat's yet to supply volume figures for when the rear seat's folded over, but it does feature a 60 hours 40 minutes split as standard, helping boost flexibility. Around the cabin you'll find plenty of slots and cubbies for storing all manner of clutter, including a sensibly sized glove box and door bins in all 4 side doors. Sadly, despite resurrecting the Tipo name, it doesn't prove to be as space-efficient as its forebear, particularly on the rear seat where 3 adults will struggle to get comfortable sat alongside each other.